Let's get started with doing some more programs with C, where now we are going to understand about how to use the conditional execution. I hope the mathematical operators are clear up to this point for you. So let's try to see the logical operators, and a better way to see the logical operators is along with conditional execution. Now, conditional execution is something where you want to check whether a particular condition is true or false. We usually check the conditions being true or false in sense of less than, greater than, equal to, or not equal to. Means we check two values, whether they are equal, one is greater, one is smaller, or whether they are not equal to each other. As always, our focus will be completely towards the embedded systems programming, because that's what we are interested into. So we're trying to learn C here from an embedded systems perspective, where we want to apply the knowledge onto embedded systems. But still, so far whatever we have discussed is a very basic C, and yeah, it will transcend slowly. So let's get started. As always, I'm not keeping any theory, and I'm directly keeping the practicals here, where we are going to directly understand, where we're going to directly experiment with some programs. So let's printf enter first number. It's just a better habit that you give a new line before and after every line. This is also important. In ANSYS C standard, you have to understand, many microcontroller compilers will not allow you to declare variable after a system function call. Means if I declare int A, B, C after writing printf. Now let's see how it works here. We didn't got any errors, but on microcontroller like Kill Microvision or particularly Kill Microvision will not allow you to do this thing. So you have to make sure that you declare your variables first thing in your program. Now let's scan the first number. Scanf %d and %a. Let's do that for B, let's do that for C. Second number B, third number C. Semicolon was missing. Now let's try to find out which one of them is larger. For now, let's keep the C aside. Let's try to do the comparison between A and B. So the way you write down a program for checking the condition between the two numbers is like this. So if A is greater than B, open a curly bracket, close it, printf A is greater than B. And whatever piece of execution you want to write, it doesn't matter what you want to write. So this loop may consist of number of different executable lines or codes. Everything should come between these two curly brackets. So that's about it. If you want to check if B is greater than A, then go away and straight away write if B greater than A. Look at this symbol. So this is greater than symbol. Similarly, there is a less than symbol. I happen to have a PowerPoint presentation which is shared with you in this course. You can go through that presentation and look for all the operators and how to use them. Then what we write down is printf B is greater than A. So that's the program. Let's try to run this. Okay, for now we are not using C at all, so very well if we just comment the C line. So this // will comment a line from your code. Comment means what? That line will not be considered in execution. So // to line a single line of code, or to comment a single line of code. Let's build and run. Enter first number 65, second number 95. So B is greater than A. In any other situation, first number 95, second number 20, and A is greater than B. Now as you can see, the A is greater than B in this case. Now, contrary to many beliefs, I would like to tell you that writing else within if condition is optional. no matter which C compiler you are using, whether it is for microcontrollers, whether it is for computer, or doesn't matter where you are writing. Some people think that if we write if, then we have to write else. There is no such thing like that. So these two conditions have been tested, but if I give both of them to be equal, then nothing happens because we haven't checked for this condition. So if you have to check for equal to condition, then simply go on and write it like this. So if B is equal to A. Remember, this double equation sign is important. Single equation sign means equation, actually equation means you are equating the value, but double equation means you are checking the value. So if B is equal to A, it means B and A are equal. Now, the point with this kind of programming is we have written three different if loops. No matter which condition is true, which condition is false, all three of them will be checked. Okay, all three of them will be checked. Why I am telling you this is, if you use or if you write the same kind of programs using else, then the execution is not like this. So I will show you how to write the same program using else now. I'll copy this. Let's take a new file. Let's save it. If else trial. Now the way it goes with if else is like this. So you check for the first condition. If this first condition is not true, then only you want to execute something. Then you simply write it down like this. Else and printf B is greater than or equal to A. For now, I will omit this further two lines. So to comment multiple lines, give a /* and to end that comment star and /. So this part of the code is not into the execution now, and we are writing only this much. So if A greater than B, else B is greater than or equal to A. Now what this kind of program states is that if the A is not greater than B, look at the condition. If A is not greater than B, then only this else will be executed, and here we are not checking for any condition. You write else means else. If A is not greater than B, else will be executed no matter what. So maybe B is greater than, or maybe B may not be greater than, but maybe equal to A. Look at it. So this is if else. Remember, no matter how many if you have, else responds or else corresponds only to the immediate if above it. What I mean to say is, if I have a program written like this, then just remember this if is completely independent. This else has nothing to do with this if the program looks like this. Okay, so if condition and else condition. In this case, this else is else only for the immediate if. We have no relation with this program. So this line will be checked. If correct, executed. If not correct, the program will check this condition. Now, if this condition is correct, then the execution will happen. Else will not be checked at all. And if this condition is not correct, or if this condition is not true, then only else will be checked. So let's try to run this. This time I'll give B greater than A. So the first line got executed, B is greater than A, and then the next else executed, B is greater than A or equal, greater than or equal to A. The third way of execution is when you use else if. Let's see how to use else if. So if A greater than B, else if B greater than A. It means what? Now in this case, if first condition is not true, then only the second will be checked. If the first is true, then that is executed and nothing below is being checked. But the first condition is false, for example, then else if is checked. Else if says if B is greater than A, it simply means B is larger. And if this condition is also not true, then else will be executed. Now, we are just checking two numbers. So, if first number is greater than b, otherwise if second number is greater than b, then the only condition that remains is both numbers are equal. Now, I can't stress enough how much this if condition understanding is important for embedded systems programming. Why I'm telling you this is, see, many of us think that we know about it. Many of us, we may think that yes, we know about if condition and executing in this way and all, but many people do make a mistake into this. So I want you to just take these two variables, try as many iterations as you want with if, else if, else if, else if. Don't go into nested if, don't go into combining multiple conditions. I will explain that in a separate video. For now, just try to understand the whole structure, the whole business of how if, else if works. Remember, if you don't want to get confused, if your program wants to stay correct no matter what, my suggestion is simply go on writing if, as many as you want, forget about else. The confusion may only come when you are using else condition. If you don't use else and if you just use if, doesn't matter how many you use it as we did before, there will not be any error into the code. So that's about it for this video. I hope this thing is clear to you. Please experiment with it. Let me know if you have any doubts and just try out different versions of this code. Thank you.